Alright everyone, so today we're going to shake things up a bit, do something different, and I'm going to fight in the arena, but I'm only going to fight against teams that have one of the three champions that I normally avoid. And this could end up going well, or it could end up going really poorly. I'm not expecting all wins from this because obviously I avoid these champions for a reason. So let's go ahead and head over to the arena here and see if we can find teams that have these three champions. Now, one of the champions is pretty easy to find in a lot of teams. And that is going to be, let's see if I could see him. Oh, yep, right off the bat, we've got Tormin right here. So Tormin is one of the three champions that I avoid, and honestly, even though he's the easiest one that I generally find against most teams, he's probably the most difficult one for me to face because, like, especially when I head into the arena, a lot of the times I'm not, like, paying 100% attention, and I'll activate one of my skills that triggers his passive, and then all my champions freeze, and it's just a disaster. So, you know, hopefully, if I pay a little bit of attention here, we'll be able to handle this, but let's head in here and see how it goes. So obviously I want to avoid any kind of turn meter stuff. So normally I would end up using this right here, but I'm going to not do that. And I'm just going to, you know what, let's see, decrease it. Yeah, you know what, let's go ahead and just use this right here. It's a little risky because I don't give myself my turn meter fill. But, you know, I'm looking at his turn meter here, and I don't see it anywhere even close to, you know, full, because he's obviously not running a speed lead, so we've got that advantage right there. Okay, so just going to go ahead and place my debuffs, remove buffs, doesn't actually matter, but this is what I would normally do here. And let's do this right there. And now, oh, see, we got frozen already on my Warlord, but my Sir Nick is good for his shields, so alright, I think we should be good to go. You know, we only got one champion left, even though my Sir Nick got frozen. But, like, if I were to use this skill right here first, because it's a turn meter fill, a lot of the times I'll do this, and it's just a disaster. My entire team gets frozen, and I'm screwed. It's just over after that point. So I'm just going to use it right now just to see if just to see what happens. I mean, maybe it's not the best idea, but we're only facing one champion, so I think we should be fine at this point. But, oh yeah, see, that's why it's a bad idea, is I already got frozen there. But I think we should be good now. I'm not really too worried. What is this? AoE? Oh, let's just attack with a regular skill here. Let's see. Does this? I don't remember if this has any turn meter. I don't think it does. So I think we should be good there. Oh, maybe not. Maybe that wasn't a good idea. Anyway, we only got one champion. We should be good. Once my Sir Nick gets a turn, it's over. Well, maybe not, actually. We're not going to use our turn meter. And alright, there we go. That could have gone much... If we actually used the turn meter fill when there was all four champions up, it would have been, you know, a 90% chance of a loss there. Unless I somehow got really lucky and I didn't get frozen, it would have been really bad. Okay, so speaking of, if I use that turn meter fill on Arbiter when all four champions were still up with Tormin, I actually, you know what, let's do that. Just because I want to show you guys what happens if I'm, like, zoned out or not really paying attention and I accidentally match up against a Tormin, not realizing it, and just go through my regular skill rotation that I go through against all other champions with no problem. But it's obviously a big problem against Tormin. So let's go ahead and go. We've got a Tormin here. And it's this very first action that I have with my Arbiter, which is, of course, the attack buff and the turn meter fill. And this is going to trigger Tormin's freeze a lot of the time, and especially if it hits, like, Madame Cerise, it's a problem. So, okay, it hit Madame Cerise, which is bad because now I don't get to place my debuffs. Now my Sir Nicholas is the next action, and his Polar Protection is just really not going to be that strong now. So I'm actually going to take it as an opportunity to put up the Unkillable. And because there's a good chance, like, especially if that Rotos is really strong, there's a very good chance he's just going to demolish me here. So I need to get... That's actually good when my Madame Cerise gets to act again, because I think this is going to be very satisfying. Let's see. Oh yeah, that was very satisfying right there. But we still don't want to use any kind of turn meter stuff until I actually get this Tormin down. But I know he's got a revive as well, so I'm trying to think here if, like, going after the Rotos might even be the best idea. He's obviously going to be the most hard-hitting, and I'm just going to do my best to avoid any kind of turn meter stuff until this Rotos is down. And let's see here. Yes, this is important. And we can actually use this skill with confidence here. Get that Rotos down. Now, we did get frozen, but we can AoE here. Tormin's going to revive. We can AoE again. And if Tormin's the last champion alive, that is fine. You still don't want to use that right there. Okay. I'm getting to the finish ground here. I think this is a locked up match at this point. Unless, yeah, I don't think there's anything I can do to mess this up. I could probably even put it on auto and finish it off. Let's just do that. That's some pretty high levels of confidence, especially given how the auto system works. But, you know, you can see there, look at that. We got 3 champions that got frozen from Tormin, which is not good. Like, if that happens at the start of a matchup against the rest of that team with that Rotos there, that is a very big problem. And that's going to end up in a lost match a lot of the time. So you can see, like, just the simplicity of using that turn meter fill at the start makes a matchup either it's a loss or it just becomes so much more difficult. And I really have to put a lot of thought into it. Whereas normally, you know, if I just keep that in mind, I don't have to put anywhere even close to that amount of thought into a matchup like this, especially at this arena score right here. So just wanted to, you know, show you guys as an example there of like what I really shouldn't do when I'm faced up against the Tormin. So that's Tormin right there. And you can see there's even another team with Tormin here. This would all encounter quite a bit actually. Now, the other two might be a bit of a struggle in order to find. And the other 2 champions that I do not, you know, these are the champions that I will avoid if I see them on a team are Hegemon and Siphi the Lost Bride. So I'm going to refresh here. And if I can't find, let's see if I could see. There's Tormin again. Did I see a Hegemon? I don't see a Hegemon, and I don't see a Siphi the Lost Bride, right? So I'm going to just gem refresh. This is just for example, just for the video, just to save time. I would never do this normally, so please do not use gems to refresh the arena. This is just to try to hunt for one of those champions, and hopefully we can find them, but we're at a pretty low arena score, which is great for farming medals. I like to stay, you know, kind of like towards the lower end where I don't fall below 2,900 into gold 3 and get less medals, but also if you're too high, then obviously the teams are going to be more difficult. So this is like a great spot to stay in for farming medals, but also if you're not really trying to compete for platinum. Anything, any luck here? It's not looking. I might have to cut. Oh, there. Okay, so really, I find the Hegemon, but it's only a team of 2, so that's kind of not fair. Because that's I'm gonna easily be able to beat this. We'll keep hunting though. Don't worry. If it gets pretty brutal in terms of how many refreshes it's taking, then I'll just go ahead and cut that part out of the video. I'm just gonna auto this one here because it's only 2 champions. Okay, so I finally found a Siphi in a team here, and, you know, Siphi is another one of those champions that I will usually end up skipping, but it's 50-50. Like, sometimes I'll accidentally face her, and it turns out to be completely fine. Like, it's not that bad of a matchup. It just kind of depends on the rest of their team, as well as how geared they are. But the reason why she's so brutal is she just has an absolutely devastating skill kit. I mean, it's got to be one of the most brutal skill kits on any champions in the game. Obviously, she's a Void Legendary, so she's very rare. But, you know, her first ability here has the sleep, and it also cannot be resisted, and it also has a heal, you know, if it's got that turn meter condition filled there. She's also got this ridiculous, but out of this ability, man, fills the turn meter of all allies, places block debuffs, it increased defense, and it increased speed. Like, what is that skill right there? That's crazy. On a 3-turn cooldown as well. And then she's got this revive here with a full turn meter, increased attack and increased crit rate. And then, of course, she's got her passive here, which is heals an ally by 15% of their HP at the start of their turn, has a 40% chance of removing fear and freeze, removes any debuffs from Rotos as well if he's on the same team. So she's just got a bonkers skill kit, absolutely insanely annoying, especially if you face off against a, you know, very difficult geared version of her that has a lot of synergy with the other members in her arena team. But we'll see how it goes here. This is 50-50 at this point. So alright, so let's go ahead and we can actually now use our regular attack speed fill. We don't have to worry about a Tormin. We're going to just go ahead and place the debuffs. Now, depending on how well this goes, this could be a game changer if we get the right turn meter and skill cooldowns there. Oh yeah, it's over. That was an easy one. It's over. That doesn't always happen, but you know, it looks like this was not the most difficult Siphi matchup. I usually actually see her in the first slot, even though her actual aura doesn't seem like it's the best, because I think a lot of people just like to use her to kind of scare people off in a sense. You know, like if I'll see a Siphi in the first slot here, I'm not fighting. I'm almost always not fighting that team, like almost always. And obviously, as you get to a higher rating as well, you know, the teams in general become more difficult, and you know, the matchups are just much more likely to be a complete pain than what we just did right now. So anyway, last champion, Hegemon. So I'm going to do a couple of refreshes here, see if we can find him. If not, obviously I'll cut this part out of the video. But Hegemon is one of those champions where you'll see more and more of him as you kind of get to a higher actual arena score, getting closer to platinum. So there's another Tormin. There's another Siphi here. You know what? Let's do another Siphi matchup, actually. This is a full legendary team. Let's see how this one goes. A little bit lower on the team power. Oh, yeah. All right. Looks like... Ooh, if she gets her... Oh, she didn't revive? I'm surprised she did. Maybe, you know what? Maybe the I got lucky and my Warlord actually put that skill on cooldown. So that could have been a big point in the actual match there if she got the revive off. All right, that one went well as well. Here we go. All right, here's a Hegemon. And this team could be pretty brutal here. Depending on what the Hegemon actually blocks, we could actually be in trouble. Oh yeah, this is like the first matchup right now where I am like really, really worried. This could go badly, especially depending on how much speed he has. Actually, that Tormin matchup could have also gone pretty badly. All right, wow, none of them. That's really lucky right there. Wow, that was very lucky. So I think we're good to go now. That Hegemon did not put any of my skills on cooldown, and this should pretty much team wipe everyone, right? Yeah, pretty much. That's it. All right. So yeah, Hegemon is really tricky because he always goes first, and he's got that ability that puts your skills on cooldown, but it's RNG based. So if you look at his skills here, going to Hegemon, I believe he is Night Revenant. So let's see, here he is. And he's got this passive here, always goes first. But then this ability right here, attacks all enemies, places a decreased attack buff, also has a 50% chance of placing a block cooldown skills debuff for 2 turns. So, you know, if this lands on the right champions for me, it can completely mess up my match. Like, especially if it lands on Madame Cerise, because she's the one that's got the removed debuffs, and she also places her decreased attack and defense. That's going to allow my Sir Nicholas to actually do a lot of damage. Like, if Madame Cerise cannot place her debuffs, then my Sir Nicholas generally doesn't do enough damage in order to kill any of the champions. So like that's probably the worst combination, but even if he places it on my Arbiter and my Warlord, like any combination usually of like 2 of those champions, and it's basically game over. 1 champion, a lot of the times I can recover. 2 or more, it's completely over. Like if he gets it off on 3 champions, that's it, it's over. So this guy is a complete pain in the arena. Now, I don't usually see him a whole lot in the, you know, like closer to the rank that I'm at right now, but I'll see a lot more of him as you get closer to like that platinum threshold. So it definitely took me a little while to hunt that guy down right there. So I apologize if this video was kind of like edited maybe a little bit weirdly. I wanted to try to put the matches in the best order that made the most sense, because I did actually have to do a decent amount of refreshes there in order to find some of those champions, most specifically that Hegemon, because the one with the just 2 champions in that matchup, that one didn't really count. So I wanted to find another real matchup with Hegemon. Anyway, that's going to be it for the video. I hope that you guys enjoyed, and if you did and you want more videos like this in the future, consider subscribing to the channel. Feel free to leave a quick like as well. It means more than you can imagine, so thank you so much to all of you guys who decided to do that. And more Raid Shadow Legends videos, guides, tutorials, all that fun stuff should be popping up on the screen right about now. Feel free to check them out. If not, till next time. Take care, everyone. This is Salt of the Salty Guild, signing out.